There's a line that's always stuck with me. In a magical land called New York City, my dad works there. The first time I heard Buddy say that, I was a kid sitting in a small theater on a freezing December night. Everyone shuffled in just to escape the cold, and none of us expected that what we were about to see would become one of the most beloved Christmas movies of all time. The moment Buddy appeared, those bright eyes, that unbreakable innocence, something changed. By the time the credits rolled, the whole theater felt lighter, warmer, and somehow a little more willing to believe in magic again. But here's what most people don't know. Behind that warmth was a mess of chaos, rewrites, near disasters, and even real-life danger that almost destroyed Elf before it ever reached the screen. So grab your maple syrup, because today on Classic Hollywood, we're unwrapping the 20 wild truths that made Elf a one-of-a-kind miracle. 20. The lost dark version of Elf. Before there was magic, there was mayhem. In 1993, a young screenwriter named David Berenbaum wrote the first draft of Elf, and it was nothing like the movie we know. It was written for Chris Farley, the wild SNL comedian, famous for his over-the-top characters. This version was edgy, sarcastic, and a little mean. Buddy wasn't childlike at all. He was a chaotic adult crashing through New York with no innocence, no heart, and absolutely no Christmas magic. Then came Jon Favreau. When he read the script, he saw potential, but also a problem. It had no soul. So Favreau did the unthinkable. He threw out nearly everything and started over. He drew inspiration from the handcrafted warmth of Rankin, Bass holiday specials like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Santa Claus is Coming to Town, wooden toys, cotton snow, soft pastel colors, but most importantly, he changed Buddy. No longer a grown man pretending to be a child, but a true child trapped in a man's body, pure-hearted, naive, and overflowing with belief in goodness. That's the magic that melted New York's cynicism and transformed Elf into the timeless classic it is today. Number 19. The accidental song that rewrote the movie. Everyone remembers the scene. Buddy stands outside the shower, wide-eyed, listening as Jovi softly sings, "Baby, it's cold outside." It's awkward, sweet, and incredibly human, but that entire moment was never in the script. When Zooey Deschanel was cast as Jovi, it was just a last-minute replacement. No one knew she could sing until Favreau overheard her warming up between takes. He stopped in his tracks. He said, "We're using that voice." Within hours, he rewrote the scene from scratch, turning a background character into the emotional anchor of the story. That quiet musical moment didn't just deepen Jovi's role, it reshaped the entire heart of Elf. From that point on, she wasn't just Buddy's love interest, she was the human connection that gave the film its emotional soul. Number 18. The sugar frenzy that almost broke. Will Ferrell. When you watch Elf, you laugh at Buddy's obsession with sugar spaghetti covered in syrup, a 2-liter bottle of Coke chugged in one breath, mountains of candy. But for Will Ferrell, it wasn't just comedy. It was physical punishment. He ate everything for real. No fake food, no props, real candy, real syrup, real sugar. After a few days, Ferrell started getting headaches, dizzy spells, nausea, even insomnia. He said he felt like his blood was made of maple syrup, but he refused to fake it. Favreau offered to use props or edit around it. Ferrell said no. He wanted every grimace, every sugar-shocked expression to be genuine. And that's why Buddy looks so believably insane, because Will Ferrell was truly living through a sugar-fueled meltdown in real time. Number 17. Buddy's New York adventure was completely real. Those street scenes of Buddy running through Manhattan, hugging strangers, waving at taxis, totally unscripted. Favreau told the crew, "No extras, no permits, just Will, me, and a camera." And that's exactly what they did. Will Ferrell, in full costume, walked into real New York City traffic with no warning. People's reactions, confusion, laughter, fear are all real. One taxi driver even waved back at him. At that moment, Elf stopped being just a movie. It became a documentary of New York's unfiltered joy. Number 16. The Haunted Hospital of Christmas. You'd never guess it from the warm lighting and cozy atmosphere, but Elf was filmed inside an abandoned psychiatric hospital in Vancouver, the same place used just weeks earlier to shoot Freddy vs. Jason. That's right, the DNA test room? A horror set. The hallway where Buddy runs? A slasher scene. Crew members said the building was freezing and felt wrong, but Favreau loved it. The space was big, cheap, and perfect for building multiple sets. And so, one of the happiest Christmas movies ever made was built inside one of the creepiest filming locations in Hollywood. Number 15. Ralphie's Hidden Cameo. There's a beautiful secret hiding in plain sight. The head elf at the North Pole, the one who gently scolds Buddy, that's Peter Billingsley. You might not recognize the name, but you know the face. He's Ralphie from A Christmas Story. The child who once dreamed of a BB gun quietly reappeared decades later to guide another Christmas dreamer. No credit, no fanfare, just a subtle passing of the torch between two generations of holiday magic. Number 14. The Lincoln Tunnel Chaos. That shot of Buddy walking through the Lincoln Tunnel was real, and it caused actual traffic problems. New Yorkers are used to seeing strange things, but a 6'3" elf in green tights? That was new. Drivers slowed down, stared, some even crashed. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt, but the city definitely noticed. Will Ferrell later joked, "I wasn't sure if I should feel proud or apologize." Number 13. The Hand-Built North Pole. Favreau made a radical choice. No CGI. Everything, the snow, the workshop, the icy skyline was built by hand. He wanted the film to feel like those classic stop-motion specials from the 60 seconds. They used forced perspective to make Buddy look huge next to the elves. No digital tricks, just clever camera angles and old-school craftsmanship. The result is a North Pole that feels soft, handmade, and timeless, like a memory frozen in childhood. Number 12. The One-Shot Santa Brawl. Remember Buddy's fight with the fake Santa at Gimbals? It looks chaotic because it was. Favreau told the crew, "We only get one take. When Will attacks, destroy everything." They did. Toys exploded, decorations shattered, and candy canes flew like shrapnel. The set was demolished in under a minute. There was no resetting, no reshooting, and that's exactly why the scene feels so real. Number 11. The elevator that doesn't exist. Everyone's tried to find it, the Empire State Building elevator with hundreds of buttons. Bad news. It's fake. Favreau built the entire elevator from scratch for one quick joke. Why spend thousands for a few seconds of screen time? Because that's Elf, innocent, silly, and completely unconcerned with logic. Number 10. The manager named Wanda. If you look closely, the Gimbal store manager, the tough guy who scolds Buddy, has a name tag that says Wanda. But the actor? Faison Love. Originally, the role was written for comedian Wanda Sykes, but when she dropped out, Faison Love stepped in and decided to keep the name tag as a private joke. Favreau loved it and left it. So now, every time you rewatch Elf, you're in on the joke too. Number 9. The Hidden Voices of the North Pole. Jon Favreau didn't just direct Elf. He secretly voiced half of it. The puffin yelling, "Buddy, you've got to get out of the North Pole." That's Favreau. The friendly narwhal saying, "Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad." Favreau again. Even the angry raccoon that attacks Buddy in Central Park, yep, Favreau, he laughed so hard recording it that the sound team had to redo his growls. In a way, Favreau is the spirit of the North Pole, unseen but everywhere. Number 8. The 12-second burp. Buddy's legendary soda burp wasn't Will Ferrell's. It came from Maurice LaMarche, the voice of the brain from Pinky and the Brain. He did the whole thing in one take. Ferrell mimed it perfectly, creating the illusion that Buddy was a one-man thunderstorm. It's still one of the most ridiculous, unforgettable sound moments in movie history. Number 7. The Coke Chug Trick. You might have thought Will Ferrell actually drank that whole 2-liter bottle of Coke in one gulp. Thankfully, no. The crew hid a tube behind his arm that drained most of the soda before it reached his mouth. Then, they digitally erased the tubing in post-production. It's a tiny bit of movie magic that made Buddy look like a sugar-chugging superhero. Number 6. The Jack-in-the-Box Nightmare. Buddy's terrified reactions testing toys? Not acting. Jon Favreau controlled the Jack-in-the-Box with a hidden remote. He varied the timing every time, sometimes instant, sometimes long, sometimes fake-outs. Will Ferrell never knew when it would pop. Those flinches, gasps, and screams? 100% real. Favreau literally pranked his lead actor for comedy gold. Number 5. The prank that broke James Caan. James Caan, legendary tough guy. He was cast to keep the movie grounded. Nothing could make him break. Until one take did. During the blood test scene, Will Ferrell suddenly screamed at full volume when the needle pricked his finger. No one expected it, not even Caan. You can see it in the film. Caan turns away from the camera, shoulders shaking, trying not to laugh. Even the toughest man in the room couldn't resist Buddy's chaos. Number 4. The deleted hockey scene. There once was a scene where Buddy played hockey at the North Pole. It was total chaos, elves flying, sticks breaking, snow exploding. The crew said it was hilarious, but Favreau cut it. It slowed the story, and Favreau believed pacing mattered more than spectacle. So the footage was buried, never to be seen. All that remains are a few snow patches and a legend whispered by the crew. Buddy the Elf, Hockey Destroyer. Number 3. The buddies that could have been. It's hard to imagine Elf without Will Ferrell, but it almost happened. Chris Farley was first, then Jim Carrey. But when Favreau rebuilt the film as a story about innocence, only Ferrell fit. At the time, he wasn't a box office star. A $33 million gamble on an untested comedian, and it paid off beyond anyone's dreams. Ferrell's performance redefined what a Christmas movie could be: funny, emotional, and pure. Number 2. The $29 million sequel that never happened. When Elf became a smash hit, New Line offered Will Ferrell $29 million to make Elf 2. He said no, instantly. Why? Because he didn't want to break the magic. He said, middle-aged Buddy in a green suit, trying to recreate old magic? That just sounds sad. And he was right. By stopping at the perfect moment, Elf stayed pure, untouched by the greed of sequels. Number 1. The Christmas movie that refuses to fade. Elf was made for $33 million. It earned $220 million. But its real success came later. Every December, it comes back to life. Streaming charts spike. Families rewatch it. Kids meet Buddy for the first time. And parents fall in love with him all over again. It's not just a movie anymore. It's a tradition. Because Elf reminds us that even in a cynical world, innocence still matters. And that somewhere deep down, every grown-up still wants to believe in magic. If you learned something new about Elf today, tell me, what's your favorite moment? Buddy's spaghetti breakfast? The snowball fight? Or that legendary shout, "Santa, I know him"? And if you love discovering the hidden stories behind Hollywood's most beloved films, don't forget to subscribe to Classic Hollywood, because movies like Elf don't just entertain us. They remind us that wonder, laughter, and a little bit of chaos can still make the world believe in magic.